If you're here for the Road to a Million call, you're in the right spot. If you guys are new here, welcome to the party. We're going to be sharing with you numbers, data. Scary. It's cool. It's not. You don't have to put your data out there. I'll put my data out there for you. My numbers. But yes, this is a numbers call, a numbers game. And so I remember when I first got into business, I had no idea that business was simply just a big math problem, right? And 11 years later, I have now discovered that it is just a big math problem. Oh, what's up, Lane Train? And hi, hi, yeah, you, hi, yes, hi. I figured out this game was just a big math problem, and there's actually two problems though. There's two problems. The first problem is putting together the variables, right? That's the first problem, is like what variables are important. And so that's what we're going to share with you guys today. What variables actually matter? Okay. What are the numbers that we actually want to increase? What are the numbers we want to decrease? Which ones are going to make a difference in the outcome that we're looking for? Okay. And then the second math problem is like, how do you actually make those numbers go up and down? Right. And so that's really what this meeting is us sharing our numbers for now the 33rd week. We've done this for 33 weeks in a row. So that's pretty exciting. 33 weeks in a row. And for you guys who are watching this, how do you get value from this? Most importantly, like this is less about Katie and I, and Keziah there in the background. Okay, this is less about us, and it's more about you guys. And so, what can you get from this? Well, number one, what you can get from this is you can get relationships with other cleaning business owners. I think that's the most valuable thing you can get, is that it's really hard to find committed cleaning business owners on the internet. It's really hard to find them in your local area, and for the most time, most people are scared to find committed cleaning business in their own area because they find them as competition. So in this room, you can find committed cleaning business owners who are not in your market, most likely, high probability they're not in your market, and you can become friends with them, and you can ask them questions, and they can help you solve problems that maybe they have solved before that you are currently struggling with. Okay? That's the first thing you can do. And the second thing you can do on this call is you can look at what our business is doing, and you can see how you can model what we're doing and see how you can make it work for your business. Now, before you can even do that, though, you must ask the question of like, why would you model our business? Like, what have we done in order for you to want to model? That should be the first question. If you guys are new, that should be the first question you ask. Is like, why would I want to model your business, bro? I don't even know who the frick you are, right? Now, people like Anna Harris and Renee Krause, who've been with me for a couple of years now, like they want to model the business, so much so that we work together one-on-one every single week, right? But for all you guys who are brand new here, the reason why they want to model and the reason why you should at least entertain the idea is that in 2020, we started our first cleaning business. Okay. October 19th, 2020. And the reason why we started it was because we actually owned Airbnbs, and we had a problem. The freaking cleaning. The freaking cleaning became a problem, right? And our first Airbnb wasn't necessarily a problem, but it was the second Airbnb. That's when things got a little hairy, got a little frisky, and Katie was like, I'm done. I'm done cleaning the Airbnbs. So then at that point, we decided to start hiring other cleaning companies. And how did that go?
Sucked.
Meh. It went meh, right? And so then I asked Katie, I was like, hey, what do you think about no longer cleaning and actually starting a cleaning business, right? This will help you get out of cleaning. And Katie said, okay, that sounds like a great idea. And so we did just that. We started a cleaning business. And lo and behold, though, what Katie didn't realize is that she was going to be the one who actually operated the cleaning business. So yeah, she got out of cleaning, but then she became the operator of the cleaning business. How exciting. And so I actually was just I have a new presentation I'm working on right now. And so in year number one, put in your chat. How much did our cleaning business make in year number one? Put in the chat. Take your guesses. from October 19th, 2020 to October 19th, 2021, how much did the cleaning business make? Let's see. Nobody's putting anything in the chat. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't have my chat up. Okay, actually, nobody's putting anything in the chat. Take a guess. Janisa, I see you at your computer. Guess. Sorry, not a month. Not a month. For the entire year. For the entire year. How much revenue did the business make the entire year? Okay, Jonathan says 50,000. Come on. First year. First year. There's one guess. Well, I guess there's two guesses because Renee said 20,000. I think she meant a year or a month. Okay, yeah. Renee Cross is 150,000. Toby says 80,000, 100,000. Hannibal thinks we're awesome. 200,000. Yeah, cool. Katie, do you even know what it is?
Yes, I do.
I don't know if they do actually. What
Is
is
the
it?
first year? 173.
138,000.
Darn. I don't know.
138,000. You don't even know. No. So you're number one, 138,000. Cool. So you're like, yeah, you shouldn't listen to us, right? Like, don't listen to us. But that was actually pretty good considering that we had another business. We had a gym. We also were still buying real estate and we were managing real estate properties, including an Airbnb business as well, and just continued to kind of grow. And so you're number two. You're number two. Can anyone guess what the business did in year number two? So the first year did 138,000. What did year number two? Okay, so all you guys who guessed the first time got to guess the second time now.
I hope better.
Better. Janisa said an extra 200,000. Jonathan said 400. 115. Oh, Toby thought we got worse. Or maybe he said plus 115. Renee said 250.
Let me scoot the car up.
350. In year number two, we did 364,000. So about tripled the business. And that was pretty good too, considering that we still had all those other things going on. But it was in year number three that I said, Katie, like, I think we can actually blow this thing up. Like, this thing is actually working without all of our attention, or most of our attention, on this business. And I was like, I think we could really do this, but we're gonna have to get rid of all these other distractions. And Katie agreed. And so we got out of the fitness business. We stopped buying real estate. We hired a property manager for our long-term rentals. And James, actually, who's my personal assistant, he took over doing all the communication for all the Airbnbs. And so that allowed us to actually put our attention on this cleaning business. And so in year number three, October 19th, 2022 to October 19th, 2023, can anyone guess the top line revenue in 1 year that this cleaning company did? Oh, Renee Krause, spoiler. Yes, Jesslyn. Yes, for you guys who are not looking at the chat, we went from year number one doing 134,000, year number two, 364,000, year number three, little over $1 million.
Is that what you call a triple double?
That's what you call a triple double. a double triple. Right? And $1 million in top line is cool. But can anyone guess how much profit that it made? How much money on the bottom? How much money actually ended up in the bank account? Yes, Janisa, a milli. Not on the top, not on the bottom line. Not yet. But how much on the bottom? Oh, Hannibal, wish. 700,000. So the net profit, Jesslyn, Renee, great job. A little over $200,000, right? So that's what we profited year number two, or year number three, excuse me. Now, it's year number four. So in year number four, from October 19, 2023 to October 19, 2024, which was just about a week ago, wasn't 5-star cleaning, did 1.2 million. So grew about $200,000. And the bottom line, 227. So about another $10,000 that increase in the profit. But this time, What was different about this time, Katie? About the second million, the second milli.
I was completely removed from operations.
Yeah. So the first milli was cool because Katie was the operator. She did the do. The second milli is even cooler because Katie didn't make a single sale, didn't make a single hire, didn't do a single clean, didn't do a single team meeting, didn't have a single one-on-one with the cleaners, and we made more money. That is why it's at least worth you guys listening today. Okay, that's why. And so what we're doing now is we're actually starting a second location, and we're starting in a totally different state. So that first location is in Montana. For all you guys that know where that is, it's below Canada, and it's above Wyoming, and it's in between Idaho and North and South Dakota. Okay, that's where it's at. And the second location is in Arizona. And so most people know where Arizona is. But we're actually in Phoenix, Arizona, which is the biggest city, not in just Arizona, but it's the fifth biggest city in the United States. It's a very competitive market. It's very dense, population dense, and it's very competitive. Like there's cleaning businesses everywhere. Actually, on this call right now, I think there's 3 other cleaning business owners in our own market right here. Okay, so like there's a lot of people. So it's a huge market. It's huge. There's 4 million people in the Phoenix metro area, right? In our market that we're specifically in, there's over 1 million people just in Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, where we actually serve. Like there's over 1 million people. There's almost like 1.3 million people. So there's a lot of people, which means there's a lot of competition, right?
Which also means there's a lot of dirty toilets.
It means there's a lot of dirty houses, right? A lot of toilets need to be scrubbed. So with that being said, we started a second cleaning business, and that's what we're documenting for the last 33 weeks. We've been documenting the growth of the second cleaning business. And so for all you guys who are brand new here, in the first 90 days, we got the business. Actually, I just pulled these numbers up, so it's actually really cool that I can actually see this. In the first 90 days, okay, month one, we made $2,952 in this Mesa 5-star location. Kitty, month number 2. You don't know these numbers either, so that's why it's fun. What would your guess be for month number 2 that the business made?
14,000.
Oh, that is right. 14,000. And month number 3, you might know this one actually. What did it make in month number 3?
22?
21. Yeah.
21.
$21,000 in revenue for month number 3. How about month number 4?
28.
Ooh, 23,000. Didn't go that much in month number 4.
Mm.
What about month number 5?
32.
29. And month number 6?
What month are we in right now?
8.
Month number 6 was 40. 39.
37. Yeah. This is on QuickBooks. This is actually money that's in the bank account. So 37, and then month number 7. No, yeah, month number 7.
Mid 40s.
42. And then this is month number 8. So we're currently month number 8, and so far in 7 months, we've got this business to $42,000 in monthly revenue. So this is another reason that we're at least worth listening to, right? And a couple people in here who have utilized the system, like Renee Krause. I don't know if Jessica and Lucas are on here as well. Marie Jed, right? A couple people in here are using the same system. Like you guys can put in the chat where you started and where your business has grown to. But my goal was actually really simple. There's 3 goals. We were able to create a successful business model. Number 2, we were able to duplicate that successful business model. And number 3, was able to share that successful business model with others so they could duplicate the results, right? And so right now, we're duplicating the second one, and we're also sharing the third one, right? So that being said, we're going to share with you guys this week number, 33 of Mesa 5-star cleaning. You guys ready? Are you guys ready? Yeah. Yes, Renee Krause. Took her 12 years, but now she's doubling her business. She's doubled her business in the last year. Right? It took her 12 years to get to, I think, where were you at, Renee? There
she just put it in there, 24.
24. There you go. So like when you're focused on the right things and you have the right, when you're solving the right problems, you're solving the right math problems, you can get exponential results. And that's really what this is for, is to help you guys be able to see what numbers you need to focus on so that you can put your attention on there and solve that problem. How do you make certain numbers in your business go up to get the outcome you're looking for, which is more revenue, which is more profit, so you can pay someone to get your time back from doing cleaning, selling, and hiring. All right, let's do this thing. All right, welcome to the vision sheet. All right, if you've never seen the vision sheet, you can get access to this vision sheet as I talk about it for free. It's in the masterclass. So James, if you haven't already, please drop the link to the masterclass. The masterclass is 100% for free, and it gives you a great understanding of really the business model in itself. And most importantly, you can access this exact vision sheet. Okay. So our goals. Our goal is to build this business also to $1 million, which means we need to get to $83,000 per month. Okay, $83,000 a month times 12 equals $1 million. Good numbers to know. And so in order for us to get to $83,000 a month, we have a goal that we need to get to 383 job ticket hours, also known as cleaning hours. And we need to have 14 cleaners that work on average 28 hours a week. Okay, that's what our goals are for our cleaners. And so last week we did 236 job ticket hours, and we had 10 cleaners worked on average 24 hours last week. And so you can see here right next to it that we still need 4 more cleaners, and we still need an average at least 4 more cleans in order for us to get 147 more job ticket hours or cleaning hours per week. But you can also see, if you scroll over here more to the right, that last week we had a PR, which is also stands for what, Katie? What does PR stand for?
Personal record.
Personal record. So last week we got a PR of 233. The week before that was actually a PR of 228, and then we had 207, 224. And so 236.
Good, best.
Good, best. Good, best. Right? So that's exciting. Projected monthly revenue. Yeah. So look at this projected monthly revenue. So for the month of October, what does that number say, Katie?
53,900.
Yeah. So for this month, we're projected to hit $54,000. Okay. So we're currently at $44,562. And last week, weekly revenue, $13,044. So as we scroll back over here to the week before that, last week was a PR of $12,038. 2 weeks ago, 11,000, 10,000, and 11,318. So last week was a PR, which means that this week at 13,000.
Another PR.
Another PR.
Very good.
Very good. Very good. Revenue per clean. $242 for revenue per clean. I think that's one of our better revenue per cleans that I've seen in a long time as well.
Yeah.
232, 216, 191, 210. So that's exciting. And we had 54 total weekly cleans. So for everyone who hasn't seen this before, like when you know exactly what your business needs to do in order for it to hit $1 million, it becomes really simple. How do we just close the gap? How do we go from 10 cleaners to 14? How do we go from our cleaners working only 24 hours to working 28 hours? How do we go from our weekly total cleans from 54 to 96? How do we go from a weekly revenue of 13,000 to 19,000? What I see here, like this is actually how my brain works. I don't know if your guys' brain works the same way, is that we're closer to $1 million than we're not. Like we're at $13,000. We need to get to $19,000 per week. We are closer to $1 million than we were where we started. Like it's crazy. That's it.
Definitely
So
feels
cool.
reachable.
Definitely feels reachable. Definitely feels reachable. I agree. So now that we know, like this is the math problem we're solving, guys. This is the problem we're solving. Now, how do we actually get the revenue to go up? How do we get the total weekly cleans to go up? How do we get the number of cleaners to go up? This is the second math problem. Now we're going to go below. I'm going to show you how we get those numbers to go up, okay? Okay. So revenue, again, our monthly revenue is $44,000 inside ZenMaid. We bill inside ZenMaid. The money gets collected inside QuickBooks. We've actually collected $42,000. Last week we billed 13,000. We've collected almost 12,000 of that. From that billed revenue, 6,644 was initial client revenue, and then 6,400 was reoccurring / occasional client revenue. So those numbers are equaling, which is great because when I had my call with Jessica and Lucas today, and I was telling them that what I've seen in our first business, and I'm seeing in this business, and I've seen the people who I coach other people who I coach in their business, including Jessica and Lucas, is that like these numbers will like when you have a growing business, these numbers will be like almost the same, right? Except for like when you're very getting started, everything's going to be new money. But a growing business, you will see these numbers actually will stay side by side. So if you are doing $3,000 in recurring money and then you are selling $2,000, then you'll make $6,000 a week, as an example, right? I see these numbers stay together right up until you get to $1 million. Right up until you get to $1 million, and the only way you're going to get to $1 million is that this recurring number, it starts to get fatter and fatter, right? So for example, when I do our Bozeman 5-star meeting, which is our first cleaning business, which has now done $1 million 2 years in a row, like this recurring number is at $20,000 a week. Like that's what it's at. It's healthy. It's nice. Like we literally wake up to $1 million business every single month, and that's why that business does 110, 120. I think the most it's ever done is 125 or $130,000 in a month. And the reason that it's able to continue to grow is because the baseline is $1 million. It starts the month at $1 million, and then we're able to sell on top of that. But the reason why I say that a sign of a growing business, because I've seen other people's businesses, that you can have a high reoccurring, and you have new money coming in, and so your recurring might be 6,000, and then your new recurring money might be 0, or 100, or 1,000, or something really, really low. And so, like I said, this is the mark of a growing business, which means that you are marketing and you're selling, which we're going to talk about next. Okay, so a growing business is marketing and selling. And so, marketing, for example, last week we spent $355 on Google Local Services, and we spent $1,400 on Facebook. Okay, so altogether, those are our 2 paid marketing channels. We spent $1,700. From Facebook, you guys can see here we got 73 leads from our Facebook funnel, which is a $19 per lead. We got 1 from Facebook Messenger. We had 11 calls that were missed. We had 5 Google Local Service ads or leads. We had 9 homepage leads. We had 5 incoming call leads, which means that people called us that they weren't a contact, that we answered it. And then we had 0 referrals. So we had a total of 100 leads. Our goal is 122, and we got a $16.89 cost per lead, okay, which anything less than $20 is great. Okay, so 100 leads a week. We consistently get 100 leads a week. Like that's been the staple that's one of the reasons that we're able to grow fast. Again, grow fast is we spend money. We spend almost $2,000 a week. I think this week, I don't know why it was a little bit less, but we usually spend about $2,000 a week, and we get 100 leads. And when we spend money and we get leads, then we have the ability to do what, Katie?
Convert them to opportunities that we can go clean their house.
Exactly.
Sell them.
Right. So a lot of times, and the reason I say this is just from experience, and some of you guys on here have used a third-party marketing agency before. And third-party marketing agencies, like their job is to get you leads, and that's it. They have one job. It's just like, I will get you leads. And those people charge a pretty good rate. $1,500 a month, $1,700 a month to solve one problem, just getting marketing. Right? But truthfully, getting leads, it's only half the equation. And arguably, it's the less important half. Because if you can't convert leads, I don't care how good your lead cost is. I don't care how many leads you get. If you're not converting them, it don't freaking matter. Okay. So let's talk about the conversions. And so last week, Katie, this is actually a good number to look at. So we started recognizing this number. How many spots did we leave unfilled last week?
4.
It's actually pretty good. Considering that we started the week out with 28. We started the week out with 28 spots that were open, and then we left everything but 4 spots, which means our girls were efficient as hell. Really good. This week ahead, which is this week we're currently in, so the landscape of this week, we have 29 spots open. And so if you guys get on the call next week, you'll be able to see how many of those spots we were able to fill. And so again, this is a sign of a growing business, because if you are not marketing, what is the chances that you're going to fill these spots?
Very, very slim.
Very, very, very low. So most people, they see 29 spots and like, and even I in the past was like, ah. And then I started to realize that the cleaning client, you can fill them very, very quickly. So quickly, in fact, that Katie, what happened this morning as an example?
Yeah, we filled 5 spots for this afternoon, this morning.
Just
We booked
this
a
morning.
deep clean. We booked 2 cleans this morning.
Oh, we booked another clean too?
Yeah.
Amazing, right? And so I think a lot of times, unless you actually commit and you put yourself in a situation where you have to fill a schedule, you would never understand that you can actually fill spots very, very quickly, right? And so right now we have 29 spots open, and 5 has already been filled before noon today, right? So let's talk about how those spots were getting filled. So we have 2 girls in our office. And so I think the part I want to make abundantly clear is that the sales and operations of this business, even in Mesa, are being done by other people than Katie and I, right? And starting in August is when we hired our 2 office gals, and they have been in charge of all the office duties outside of I'm doing one-on-ones with the cleaners and doing team meetings, and Katie is doing recruiting, right? Which actually in our model it's off from Mesa, because we're actually doing it for Bozeman too. So we're trying to create what we call an HQ. However, I don't know if we're quite big enough in order for us to be able to follow through on that idea, but we're just trying things. We're messing things up. So outside of those things, all the cleaners, when they get hired though, they get onboarded by Keziah right now. They get trained by one of our trainers, and then all the clients, they get talked to by either Megan or Keziah, and then the conversion calls are done actually done by Keziah, and all the client complaints done by Keziah or Megan. And so everything in this business, outside of I'm doing one-on-ones with the cleaners and Katie's doing recruiting, and we're both doing the team meeting still. Outside of that, everything else operationally is done by Megan, Keziah, and then our virtual assistant, Rhea. So just want to make sure that also is clear. And so last week, we had Megan and Keziah made 131 and 112 calls, 243 together. We had 29 quote calls scheduled, 20 people showed. We performed 51 calls, and we closed 27, and our goal was 25. So great job. We hit the freaking goal. And we closed at a 53%, which is amazing. And we put on $8,814 of projected quote call revenue. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Now, the part that was lacking last week, and noticeably, was we did absolutely 0 conversions. So that was sad. That was sad. So yeah, I mean, that one really hurt. So something that we addressed today at our team meeting. So everything up to this point, we did 100 leads, which is good. We did 27 closes, which is great. We had 0 conversions, which is really, really bad. And I think we actually lost clients, so we went negative last week. So that is a problem that we need to solve. That is a math problem that is not working in our favor. All right, client fulfillment. We had 54 cleans. Out of 54 cleans, 18 were new, 36 were reoccurring. We had 5 Google reviews. We had 5 correction cleans, that's discount cleans. That's a high number too. Reoccurring clients, 106. So I think last week we had 109. So I think we lost 3 clients. Recurring goal is 161. Total occasional clients, 23. And then 5-star reviews, we have 244. Goal is 250. So the goal, we will hit the 250 this week, hopefully. That is what we told our team this morning, and they seemed like they were all about it. So we're going to break 250. Okay, so 161. So this 161 number, man, clarity. So I want to stay here for a second because this morning when I was on Jessica Lucas's call, it was cool because they have their vision sheet set up like this, and I'm not going to spoil a surprise for them, but if you guys are inside the community, they have their call on Wednesday. Please show up to the call. You guys are going to see something freaking wild and nuts. It's so freaking crazy. And if you just saw Lucas post in the chat, um, when they joined, before they joined the masterclass, which was 2 years ago, their business was doing $13,000. By just utilizing the masterclass, they grew their business to 31,000. Which, by the way, masterclass is free. So James, please drop the link for the masterclass for anyone out there who has not done the masterclass, who doesn't know what the masterclass is. Like, it is 100% for free. Okay, the information is good. It's good enough that they grew the business from $13,000 to $30,000 a month just in the masterclass. And then they're like, "This is really good. Can I give you money?" And I said no. I was like, no, simply, but it wasn't because of them. It was just because of me. I was uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to take that responsibility in order to personally help people grow the businesses. Like, I'm still growing my business. But they were persistent, and they came back, and I finally said yes. And so I've been working with them the longest. They're my longest clients. That's why I use them a lot. And so they had a post in April where they put a post inside the community where their business had hit $54,000 in monthly revenue, right? Which they started at 13, did the master class, got it to 30, and then they got to 54. And then I'm not going to spoil a surprise. I will let Lucas do it. But this month they're going to have a insane PR. And so if you guys are inside the school community, please go get on their call on Wednesday. And it's important for you guys to know what's possible. And again, Katie and I want to show you guys that it's possible for us to do it, but it's even more valuable when we see the Jessica and Lucases also do it. And by the way, they've been in business for 12 years as well. So it wasn't like they're brand new businesses. They've been in business for 12 years. And sometimes it takes a minute for you to figure out what it takes. And once you figure it out, it goes, it's amazing. And just so you guys also understand, this is not our first business. Like, this cleaning business is not our first business. Again, I tried to allude to it before, but in my first business, I made $135,000 in revenue in 3 years. That's $45,000 a month, or excuse me, a year. It's $45,000 a year. That's $3,750 a month. I did that for 3 years. And Katie was there, thinking that I was like rich. It was so funny. This is when we were dating, so she did she didn't actually know how unrich I was. And it took me a long time for me to figure out how to take a business from zero to $54,000 in 8 months. It took me 11 years to figure that out, just so you guys know. Like, it did not happen overnight. Just want to be clear about that as well. Okay? Sometimes it just takes time. Sometimes it just takes you actually focusing on the right things. And that's what I want to show you guys is, like, these are things that it took me so long to figure out that I want to try to make it more clear so you guys can be like, okay, nothing else matters. Get to 161 recurring clients, Logan. That is the goal of this business. If we get to 161 recurring clients, we will have $1 million business. And in order for us to get to 161 recurring clients, we need to convert 8 people every single week. Last week we did 0. Not good. Not getting us closer to $1 million. In order to convert 8 clients a week, we need to do 27 calls a week. Close 27 calls a week. Close 27 calls a week. Okay, we did our job there. We need to get 122 leads. We've got 104. That'll do. That'll get us there. Okay, so just want to help you guys understand. These are the things you guys can get. You guys can figure out how many leads it's going to take you, how many calls you have to close, how many quotes you have to close per week, and how many of those you need to convert, and know what your recurring number is. Like, that's the math problem. It's just math. If you have 161 recurring clients, you have the ability to have $1 million business. That actually just puts you at $60,000 a month. But if you're going to continue to grow, and you're able to sell, it's pretty easy to sell $5,000 a week. I shouldn't say it's easy. It's possible. Nothing's ever easy. Just want to be really clear about that. Nothing is easy in this business. Nothing. It's still not easy. Just so you guys know, I want to be really clear because this is something that has been really on my mind. growing $1 million business is freaking hard work. It's hard the first time. It's hard the second time. It's hard the third time. It doesn't get easy. You just get better. That's it. You just get better at understanding what it takes. You get better at hearing the no's. You get better at people no-showing you. You get better at people quitting and telling you you're an a-hole and suing you and like threatening you and waking up to letters from the IRS and the state saying you owe us money. Like you just get better at handling those things and you continue to move forward and you focus on leads, sales, conversions. Everything else is just like things you have to handle, but those are the things that actually grow your business. Okay. So, cleaner acquisition. We spent $68 on cleaners on Indeed. Katie made 20 outgoing calls. We had 12 applicants. Katie did 9 interviews. Or, excuse me, 9 interviews were scheduled. 6 of them performed. She moved 3 of those to Zooms. 3 showed and 1 hired. We didn't onboard anybody last week. Is that right?
I'm on Friday.
Yeah, so we had 1 onboarding. I'll save that. I'll save that for Rhea. So we onboarded Emma Hansen on Friday. You want to tell the story, Katie? This is kind of a fun story. Is Anna Harris on here? Did you see Anna Harris on here?
She was on here earlier. Yeah, she's here.
You tell the story. Okay, cool. You tell the story because Anna, this idea literally came out of from our conversation. So thank you.
Yeah, you saved the day, Anna. Little did you know, you saved our day on Friday. So Thursday night, Thursday afternoon, we were at a deep clean that was severely underbid. And we had our girls stay till 6 p.m. and they said, we want to go home. And we said, totally fair. We sent them home and we had to reschedule them to go back the next day because it was such a severely underbid gig. And we simultaneously had the schedule already at what I thought was max capacity. So we optimized it, figured out how to way to Tetris this new finished clean back on the schedule. And then at about 6 p.m., I get a text message from a cleaner that says she doesn't feel well and she's not going to be at work tomorrow. And I'm like, shit, like I just fixed it all. It's all maxed out. What are we going to do? And I was like, there's a way. How do we serve all of these clients? Because our office also has goals for producing revenue. And had we canceled or rescheduled any of these cleans, the goals for the revenue produced in the office would have also gone away and they wouldn't have hit their goal. So I'm like, we got to make it work. So I sat there and played Tetris, and then Anna Harris had a brilliant idea of working interviews. So we were onboarding a new hire on Friday. Usually our onboarding process is they actually go through our school program. We get their paperwork done. It's like a meet and greet, if you will, and then they actually clean our primary home. Well, in this situation, she was kind of my only option. So we sent Emma out into the field with Megan, who's also an office girl, who's normally behind the phones, and they completed a clean, and that clean converted to recurring. It was epic. Yeah, and she didn't know any difference. So, I mean, she wasn't like caught off guard that her day was different than it should have been, but she was a trooper. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, thank you, Anna. And as much as we have systems, we have procedures, like sometimes you throw all this shit out the window and you're just like, I got to figure out how to make this thing work. Right. And that is ultimately what we did. And Emma had no idea what was happening. Megan, she was a trooper. She went from in the office to out into the field, and luckily we had 2 people. So the reason why I always go with 2 people is we had another person in the office, Keziah, who was still making sales that day. Like she made multiple sales that day. And she was like, we thought the schedule was full, but she just she filled it to the brim. And so anyway, that's the story I want to tell with the cleaners is that Emma started last week and she cleaned for half a day and then we actually onboarded her afterwards. So we did both. And then Audrey, Amber, and Aspen. So Aspen was actually one of the cleaners who called out. So I don't know. To me, she's sus. Everybody else loves her. But so far she's proven not to be reliable. So we'll see. Amber and Audrey, I don't know. I'm not excited about either of them. They both showed up to the team meeting today, so that was at least positive. And then Marissa, who had just graduated, I think the week before, she put her 2 weeks in, and so she is out. And then Nanette was somebody who we scheduled for onboarding, and then she ended up she wasn't able to actually meet the requirements. She was just moving here from a different state, and we told her that she needed to actually move into our area. She was moving. She said that she was going to move into an area that was like an hour away from us, called Peoria. And she's like, "I'll make the commitment. I'll make the drive. I'll do the do." And we are just like, "No, like you have to move to Mesa if you're actually gonna accept this job." And then she ended up not. So she's no longer on the onboarding schedule. So. I did one-on-ones last week. I did with Audrey and Amber. Neither of these were proactive. They're both reactive. I got complaints from both of their trainers about them. So I got on calls and set the expectation with them and let them know that the feedback that I was going to give them was serious and that their jobs depended on it. And they seem to both take the feedback well, because they're still on the team. And that being said, they're still sus. Yeah, those are those two one-on-ones. They were definitely not planned. And then our cleaners last week, Jocelyn 31 hours, Alyssa, she had RTO, so she was only 19, Tiffany 32, Kayla 27, Asia 30, Miranda 24, Amanda 36. Nice job, Amanda. Raven, she only worked on Friday afternoon. She was a cleaner who had RTO all week. And then Aspen, she also called out on Friday. So we had 3 trainees over here, 5, 34, 28. So our average man hour is $55 a man hour, which is right on line with our goal, which is great to see. Correction clean discounts. Looks like we had 4 correction cleans. Becky Allen who is actually our neighbor. Mary, Michelle Hastings, Danielle Ledwick, and then Amy Smart, we discounted some monies. Cool. I don't think anything crazy on any of those. I think they were all, actually, I think was Daniela this week? I thought she was last week. Okay, it's all right. Canceled recurring clients. Yeah, we had 2 canceled recurring clients. We had Becky Miller and Lori Greenberg, 2 cancelers, and we had no recurring clients. Look at this.
So sad. So sad. First time ever.
Yeah.
Last time too.
Last time ever. And this is crazy. I don't know if you saw this number, Katie, but I saw this again. I was like, holy shit.
Damn.
So we've been tracking this number, guys, I think for 4 weeks. So this is our first month of tracking this. So again, back to the data, what we're probably trying to solve. Let me just double check here. 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks. Yeah, so 5 weeks. So 5 weeks ago, I'm like, I think we got a problem. We're getting a lot of people who are flying off the schedule as quickly as they're coming on. So you guys saw that we were putting $8,000 of projected monthly revenue or of weekly revenue, but then not all of them is sticking. And so we started tracking this number, and then we started tracking, are they first-time clients or are they recurring clients, to see if there was any noticeable difference. And like so far, it's been 50-50. There hasn't been a difference between one-time and recurrings. And the big thing that we're seeing over here is that we're not charging our cancellation fee. It looks like we only did a one-time last week. So I think this is the number that in the future, this number or this will start to change for more yeses as people start to become repeat offenders. So we've implemented now that every single person who does fall within the 48 hours that we're going to start charging them. But the first time we're giving everybody the benefit of the doubt that they did not know. We did a terrible job of sharing our cancellation fee with them, and so we will let them know. So if they become a repeat offender, then after that we will start charging this thing more frequently. But look at that, $3,700. It's wild. So what's just for example, what is like I can do the math. I can do the math. Ready for this? 13,000 plus 3,700. How much is that a week?
It's a big PR.
$16,700. The money is there, guys. The money is there. Just like just flying right off the schedule, right? Now, it's always going to be a problem. This will never be a zero. Just again, let me help you guys set expectations. If you are small and your business is doing $10,000, $20,000 a month, sure, you might not have anybody who cancels. If you're going to grow your business fast, you're going to grow the business to get to $1 million, you're going to have what's called breakage. You're going to have things that are not going to go as perfect, right? You're going to have cleaners fall off. You're going to have clients who fall off. But most importantly, as long as you don't fall off, that's all that freaking matters. Okay? You got to stay on the horse. You got to continue to market. You got to continue to sell. You got to continue to hire. If you do those three things, the business will grow. Okay? But $3,700, that's a PR, and it's not a good one, right? But despite the $3,700, Katie, we still had a freaking weekly PR. Like, again, these are like different reframes to look at. Is we look at the positive side, like look what could have been. But despite $3,700 flying off the schedule, we still hit a PR of 13,000. That's exciting to me. That's good. That means that like we're doing things right. Now we just gotta figure out how to mitigate this problem. How do we get more people to stay on the schedule? Charging cancellation fees, I think, will help. Preparing our office gals, giving them confidence to be able to have that conversation and confront that conversation. I see a lot of this is probably like us just letting things go and not confronting it. So more confrontation is what it's going to take. It's going to take more conversations, right? And charging that freaking card. And now getting the card. So up until 5 weeks ago, we also didn't take credit cards for first time clients, but now we are. That is part of our process. We do take credit cards now. So it took us 7 months, but on month number 8, we started taking credit cards. So this was a question that happened inside the group, or that was outside the group. Should I take credit cards right away or not? It really it's not that big of a deal, to be completely honest with you. My philosophy has always been very simple. When you're starting out, create less friction, right? Get more people to say yes, and then as you start to get problems, like you see the problem, you have people fly off the schedule, then we got to solve that problem, then create a little bit more friction in order to solve the problem. And so now we take credit cards. And in our first location, it took us probably 3 years, 2.5 years. So we've been in business for 4 years, so it probably took us 2.5 years before we started taking credit cards. And in that business, we take credit cards on all first time cleans. So, okay, cool. And then as far as discounts go, we had a correction clean, $26, $17, 10% discount. We had some vouchers that we gave away for some quick fill vouchers. So we had $543 that we discounted last week. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. So before Katie, before I give you the opportunity to share your thoughts, again, if you guys are brand new here, which I don't know how many guys are brand new, because I see a lot of friendly, familiar faces in here. So thank you guys for showing up to these calls. But if you guys are brand new and you guys haven't checked out the Building $1 Million Cleaning Business Masterclass, James, if you will, drop that link again. It's 100% for free. You're going to find access to marketing system, sales system, data systems, all the systems. Basically get the overview. There's a couple tools, resources in there, literally enough tools and resources to like utilize it and to actually get some progress. All free, 100% for free, right? So yes. So James, if you can, drop that link for the masterclass again. And then inside the masterclass, if you guys are interested in like getting serious, being committed, you guys have the opportunity to join and I changed the name of this, so all you guys who are old, bear with me as I am working through the name of this, but the $1 Million Cleaning Business Coaching, right? And so if you guys want the take to the next level, the commitment, you want access to live coaching calls, you want access to all the information, the detailed information, the systems, the processes, literally nothing is held back. You guys can apply to join the $1 Million Cleaning Business Coaching Program. And additionally, I think I mentioned this last week, there is now options for actually personal one-on-one coaching. And so that is now offered, and I will share with that more on the coaching call tomorrow. Everybody already inside the community actually wants access to one-on-one coaching. And so unfortunately, or fortunately, like my schedule is already full, but I have a surprise coach who I have held back for a very, very long time, that people have asked so much for her that I'm going to give people the opportunity to actually coach with her, and I'm going to keep that name quiet for right now. However, that will also be an option for people who do want that more personalized attention and want help actually implementing the system. So, but there's also just options to just join the program without getting the one-on-one coaching as well. So, that being said, thou person who shall remain nameless, tell me your thoughts.
Hmm. Nameless. I think we're on the right track. More inputs. If we could just condense time between those inputs, it would be awesome. Rather than waiting for it to happen, if we can just do more and increase volume, they're there. Conversions is definitely a obvious sore spot from last week. So we have one conversion already this week, which is great to get one on the books.
Better than last week. Holla.
Yeah. And we had a new client sign up today that wanted to go straight to recurring. So allowing them to also go straight to recurring.
Yeah.
No,
so good
I
question.
think we're doing good.
Good question for Hannibal. Yeah. So the name of the idea of the school community is going away. So the idea of the school community, the community is a bonus to the coaching program. So there is no access to the school community anymore. So for everybody who's already inside the community, there's no longer, that's not even an option anymore. So moving forward, you must be part of the coaching program. As part of the coaching program, you'll get access to the school community. So just want to make it clear. There was a lot of confusion. People basically just didn't understand the value. They saw community and they didn't understand the actual freaking resources that were inside there, which is literally the freaking information, the systems to build $1 million cleaning business. And that shit ain't free. Right? So yes, so if anybody is interested in getting access to the systems, live coaching, and the community, it's part of the building. It's part of the $1 Million Clean Business Coaching Program, which again, you can find it inside the, what is it called? The masterclass, or I actually do have a link. Where's the link at? Okay. I do have a new link here. I haven't even shared this yet. So I'll put it in the chat. So you can apply there as well if you guys are interested in, if you guys already done the masterclass or you want to just go straight to getting some personal help, I did put the link in the chat. But yeah, so this month we're going to end out a little over $50,000, and the goal is to get to 83, but really the goal is to get to 100. That's kind of what I've realized is that 83 is nice, but there's just a little bit, there's still all the margins at 100, and so really that's really where we want to get, because we want to get $100,000 per month, and that way, at $100,000 a month at 20% margins, how much you taking home, Katie?
$200K.
Yeah, a little over $200K. Right. While not selling, cleaning, or hiring. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Right. And this business, you don't have a huge startup cost. How many of you guys started this business for $20,000?
Only 500 is what my vacuum cleaner and caddy was.
Yeah. Ain't nobody started this business for $20,000. So the fact that you can actually build an asset that can produce you $200,000 a year in a year to 2 year time frame, and your initial investment is mainly your time. Again, sure, let's call it $5,000 at most for equipment. All you guys can get access to $5,000. That opportunity doesn't exist in a lot of places. Money is not the constraint. You guys want to know what the constraint is?
Humans.
Your guys' ability to communicate with other humans. That's the constraint. And so that's why I love this business. I really love this business, because I shouldn't say money doesn't matter. Resources always matter. How much time somebody has, how much money somebody has, how much attention somebody has, it does matter. But none of those things are the constraint. It's your ability to communicate with other humans. And so this business forces you to become a better communicator. It forces you to become more clear on your directions. It forces you to become a better human, because people aren't going to follow people who don't want to be like. I can't get rid people, because people don't want to work for a freaking slob. They don't respect you. If you want people to follow you, be somebody worth following. And that's why I love this business, because it's the greatest personal development thing on the planet. Business in itself is personal development. Cleaning business is everything, right? It's everything. Gym business was for a long time. And by the way, gym business, totally, it helped me so much. But this business is the greatest personal development tool that I have ever experienced. And the fact that there's a cherry at the end of the rainbow there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that literally you can do pretty well. like $200,000 of take-home money for the average person is like pretty good. That's not bad. Right? Like most people can live on that. Right? But truth be told, the goal of this business that everyone should have in here, I shouldn't say should, I don't like using the word should. What I have found, what helped me was understanding that this business was never for me to get rich. It was for me to learn the skill of getting rich. And that skill of getting rich is what will actually make you rich in the future. And so it helped me to be less concerned about how much money the thing made and more about what does it take to actually grow something? What does it actually take to build something? And by doing that, whoops, you get rich on accident because you're actually focused on the right things, which is personally growing, building the people, investing, rather than the outcome of money. Right? So, anyways, I really hope you guys got some value from today. Again, the goal was for you guys to be able to take this, model this, apply it to your business. Who gives a shit whether Katie and I have $1 million businesses, we're rich, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that you can take this and you can apply that, you can make yourself, you give yourself the skill set to have the choice to make the money, to grow the business, to have the freedom to do what it is that you want to do in your life. And that is what rich actually feels like. So happy freaking Monday. Thank you guys for hopping on here. Again, if you're part of this, if you're part of the community, be on the call tomorrow. I'll share some more juicy details. If you're not part of the community, again, you can join the masterclass 100% for free. And if you're ready to take the next level, if you are committed and you want to get some personal help, you want some guidance on implementing $1 million system, then you can apply to join the coaching program. So happy freaking Monday. See you guys all tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.